We don't live in the age of addiction to substances. We live in the age of addiction to distraction. Most people aren't destroying their lives through obvious excess. They're losing them quietly, minute by minute, through constant stimulation, endless noise, and fractured attention. Distraction doesn't look dangerous. That's why it's so effective. In this video, we'll explore why distraction has become the dominant addiction of modern life, and what philosophy, from Stoicism to Aristotle to Nietzsche, reveals about what it's costing us. Distraction feels harmless because it's everywhere. We wake up to notifications, we fill silence with scrolling, we escape discomfort with entertainment, and none of it feels extreme. But philosophy teaches us something uncomfortable. The most destructive habits are often the most subtle ones. Distraction doesn't overwhelm you all at once. It slowly replaces depth with stimulation, stillness with noise, meaning with motion. To understand why this matters, we need to look at how philosophers understood attention, pleasure, silence, and responsibility, long before smartphones ever existed. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus believe freedom begins with control of the mind, not control over events, not control over other people, but control over attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." What we now call distraction, the Stoics would have called enslavement to impulse. If your attention is constantly pulled outward by noise, novelty, or emotion, you are not free. You are reactive. From a Stoic perspective, distraction isn't just annoying, it's a form of inner chaos. Every notification fragments the mind. Every impulse interrupts presence. And over time, the ability to focus, reflect, and act deliberately weakens. The Stoics believed that a person who cannot control their attention cannot control their life. In that sense, distraction is not entertainment. It is the loss of inner sovereignty. Aristotle approached the problem differently. He distinguished between pleasure and fulfillment. Pleasure is immediate, easy, often passive. Fulfillment, what Aristotle called eudaimonia, comes from sustained effort, virtue, and purpose. Distraction keeps us trapped in low-effort pleasure, endless content, endless stimulation, very little meaning. Aristotle believed we become what we repeatedly do. A life filled with distraction trains the mind to avoid effort, delay discomfort, and seek constant reward. Over time, this doesn't make life happier, it makes it emptier. A distracted life is busy, but shallow, stimulated, but unsatisfied. From Aristotle's view, distraction prevents the habits required for a good life: patience, discipline, and purpose. In the 17th century, Blaise Pascal made a haunting observation. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Pascal believed people avoided silence because silence forces confrontation with thoughts, regrets, uncertainty, and mortality. Distraction is not always about pleasure. Often it's about avoidance. We scroll not because we're bored, but because stillness exposes something uncomfortable. Questions like, am I living the life I want? Am I avoiding something important? What am I afraid to face? Distraction keeps these questions at bay. Noise becomes a shield. Movement replaces meaning, and silence becomes something to escape. Pascal would argue that distraction is modern humanity's way of avoiding self-examination. Friedrich Nietzsche took an even sharper view. He believed most people avoid responsibility for their own becoming, not because they are incapable, but because responsibility is heavy. To take responsibility is to admit, you could live differently, you could choose more, you could become more. Distraction offers an escape without guilt. If you're constantly entertained, you never have to confront unrealized potential. You never have to decide who you are. Nietzsche would say distraction protects people from the burden of freedom. It keeps life comfortable, but small. In that sense, distraction is not accidental. It is chosen because it is easier than self-command. Distraction doesn't ruin life loudly. It ruins it quietly by stealing your attention, your depth, and your time. It erodes the capacity for focus, weakens the ability to reflect, and delays the courage to live deliberately. Philosophy reminds us that attention is not neutral. What you give your attention to shapes who you become. The Stoics warned that uncontrolled attention leads to inner slavery. Aristotle showed that pleasure without purpose leads to emptiness. Pascal revealed that distraction hides our fear of silence. Nietzsche exposed how it helps us avoid responsibility. The solution is not to reject modern life, but to reclaim presence. Because a life directed by attention is a life that can be shaped. And a life lost to distraction is rarely lost all at once, but slowly, quietly, and unnoticed. The question is no longer whether distraction is addictive. The question is what kind of life is possible when attention is finally reclaimed. Comfort promises safety, but it often delivers stagnation. It quiets the tension that once urged us to grow and to become more than we are. The ancient philosophers understood this well. They warned that ease, when left unchecked, dulls the soul and weakens the will. Growth has never emerged from excess comfort. It emerges from friction, when effort is required, when resistance is met, when one chooses discipline over ease. Comfort asks nothing of us. Philosophy asks everything. To overcome comfort is not to reject pleasure or modern life, but to refuse being ruled by them. It is to choose what is difficult when what is easy is available. To act deliberately rather than drift passively. A life shaped by comfort alone may feel calm, but it rarely feels meaningful. Because meaning is forged where effort is demanded, where attention is disciplined, and where the self is tested. The question is not whether comfort feels good. The question is what it quietly costs. The lesson is simple, but demanding. Guard your attention as you would guard your time, your values, and your future, because in the end, they are the same thing. If this reflection on philosophy, comfort, and modern distraction resonated with you, support the channel by liking the video and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and philosophical thoughts for modern life. Thank you for watching.